Tekken is a soap opera with sidekicks, suplexes, and soul-crushing trauma. What started as a tournament for prize money quickly spiraled into a generational deathmatch featuring laser-eyed CEOs, time-hopping androids, and at least 2 bears. Some fight for legacy, others for revenge. A few just want to hit something really, really hard. Here is every playable character in the Tekken franchise, explained. Heihachi Mishima. Heihachi is the architect of Tekken's madness, and basically what happens when a war crime decides to grow a mustache. He threw his son off a cliff to test his strength, nuked his wife when she tried to kill him, and founded the Mishima Zaibatsu to take over the world through sheer corporate brutality. No devil powers, just raw ego and sandals. He's been betrayed by everyone he's ever loved, and somehow he still thinks he's the hero. Kazuya Mishima. Kazuya was thrown off a cliff as a child and climbed back with horns. The devil gene turned him into a walking apocalypse, but the real monster was always there. He's ruthless, calculating, and runs G Corporation like a one-man war machine. Every smile is a threat, and every fight is a message to his father, "Your hair looks stupid." Kazumi Mishima. Kazumi married into the Mishimas to murder Heihachi. She loved him, but love lost to duty. Her devil gene surfaced and her assassination failed, and her death sparked everything that followed. Every Mishima war, every broken alliance, it all started with her. She wasn't a villain, she was a match. Jin Kazama. Jin grew up trying to escape his bloodline, and he failed. The devil gene took root, and every attempt to use it for good pulled him deeper into chaos. He's led rebellions, destroyed nations, and vanished more times than he's explained himself. Somewhere under all that brooding silence is a kid who just wanted peace. What he got was Tekken. Jun Kazama. Jun was the calm before the bloodstorm, an agent of peace with a connection to nature and Kazuya. She vanished after giving birth to Jin, leaving behind a legacy of empathy in a franchise that thrives on grudges. Whether she's dead, alive, or something in between depends on the game, but her presence never really leaves. Lars Alexandersson. Lars is Heihachi's illegitimate son and the franchise's one-man resistance. Where the rest of his family uses power to punish, Lars uses it to protect. He defected from the Tekken Force, led a rebellion, and somehow kept his morals and that hairstyle intact, while related to every major war criminal on the board. He's not the flashiest Mishima, but he's the one trying to break the cycle. Reina. Reina is a Mishima student with secrets, scars, and a moveset that borrows from everyone she's watched bleed. Fast, brutal, and more composed than she should be. She's not here to impress, she's here to prove something. Possibly to herself. Paul Phoenix. Paul is a denim-clad monument to misplaced confidence. He's been trying to win the King of Iron Fist tournament since the 90s and still believes he's the strongest fighter alive. Spoiler alert, he is not. But he did once punch a bear into submission, which has to count for something. Hair like a lighthouse, brain like a traffic cone, Paul's greatest enemy is the rules of the bracket. Martial law. Martial law is Tekken's official Bruce Lee echo, except broke. He's opened more doomed restaurants than he's won championships, and his son is one liability lawsuit away from bankrupting him. Still, he kicks hard, flips harder, and always shows up swinging. He's not in it for the glory. He's in it because the rent's due. Forest Law. Forest is Marshall's son, copy-paste heir to the flying kick, and proof that talent doesn't skip generations, just responsibility. He's fast, flashy, and prone to crashing literal vehicles. Like father, like lawsuit. Steve Fox. Steve's got no kicks, no nonsense, and no clue who his mother is, until he finds out it's Nina Williams and immediately regrets asking. He boxes like a surgeon with a grudge and moves like he's allergic to punches. Built in a lab, raised in a ring, Steve's fighting style is tight, technical, and one bad day away from emotional damage. Hwarang. Hwarang is Jin's rival, motorcycle enthusiast, and taekwondo hothead. He kicks like his legs are on commission and hates losing more than he likes winning. Whether he's in military camo or a leather jacket, Hwarang's attitude stays the same. Furious. Baek Doo San. Baek is a stoic taekwondo master who trained Hwarang and kicks with the weight of a very disappointed parent. He's calm, calculating, and hits like a steel beam wrapped in tradition. Every move says, "I taught you better than this." Bryan Fury. Bryan was a dead cop until a mad scientist crammed a generator in his chest and cranked the dial to kill everything. Now he's a walking riot with a machine gun laugh and zero impulse control. He's not fighting for anything, he just likes the sound things make when they break, especially your spine. Li Chaolan. Li is Tekken's silver-haired tech lord and pretty prince of flair, adopted by Heihachi, overshadowed by Kazuya, and now funding revolutions just to stay interesting. He fights in a tailored violet suit and still finds time to engineer combat androids. He's classy, clever, and fueled entirely by revenge and hair gel. Bob. Bob got fat on purpose. Seriously, he called it speed and weight in perfect balance, and somehow he made it work. Fast as a gymnast and hitting like a train and built like a buffet, Bob confuses everyone from the audience to his opponents. You don't know whether to cheer or check your cholesterol. Leo. Leo is a German martial artist with clean techniques and unclear pronouns. They fight with precision, grace, and enough discipline to make Feng jealous. Calm under pressure, deadly on impact. Leo lets their fists do the talking, and they're fluent. Claudio Serafino. Claudio is a holy exorcist with anime hair and a superiority complex. He leads the Archers of Sirius and acts like he's the main character, despite being introduced 6 games in. Using sacred blue fire and disapproval to banish devils. Not a single wrinkle in that coat. Leroy Smith. Leroy is a blindfolded Wing Chun master with a gold cane, a designer tracksuit, and a pit bull named Sugar. He lost everything to corporate warfare and came back to break the system, with style. Every move is a statement, every step is a payback, and when Leroy enters the arena, even the soundtrack straightens up. Asuka Kazama. Asuka got dragged into this franchise by accident and refuses to leave. She's Jin's cousin, a self-proclaimed defender of justice and absolutely allergic to minding her own business. She claims she hates fighting and yet keeps winning street brawls like it's her cardio. Her real goal? To shut up Lili permanently. Lili. Lili Rochefort is the only Tekken fighter who might actually own a perfume line. Rich, dramatic, and offensively well-dressed, she fights with the grace of a ballerina and the spite of someone who's never heard the word no in her life. Her main hobby is annoying Asuka, and she's very, very good at it. Ling Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu is sunshine trapped in a spinny kick. She entered the tournament to build a theme park and maybe save Jin Kazama's soul. She's naive, energetic, and hits like a sugar-fueled hurricane. You'd think the bears and global warfare would scare her off, but they don't. She's seen worse in high school. Kuma. Kuma is Heihachi's pet bear. That's not a metaphor. He's an actual bear trained in martial arts and fluent in growls. He's loyal, terrifying, and smarter than at least half the human roster. He once beat Paul Phoenix in a sanctioned fight. You may laugh, but not for long. Panda. Panda is Xiaoyu's personal bodyguard and emotional support brawler. She's calm, collected, and has absolutely no time for anybody's nonsense, especially Kuma's. If you threaten Xiaoyu, Panda will send you flying, and then return to her nap. Alisa Bosconovitch. Alisa is a polite, pink-haired android with chainsaws for arms and a habit of apologizing mid-fatality. She can fly, explode, and detach her head on command. Built by a dead man and programmed to be helpful, she's proof that advanced AI might still be very weird. Sebastian. Sebastian is Lili's butler, bodyguard, and occasional brawler. He apologizes mid-combo and looks like he should be serving wine, not uppercuts. Refined, relentless, and really good at cleaning up after his employer's messes. Zafina. Zafina was once a spiritual guardian. Now she's a vessel for an ancient evil and walks like the prophecies already in motion. Her style is unorthodox, unpredictable, and powered by cosmic dread. When Zafina shows up, something bad is coming. Possibly you. Azucena. Azucena is a Peruvian coffee heiress, MMA fighter, and social media queen. She dodges punches like she's dancing around bad press. Loud, chaotic, and deeply unserious. Until you hit her, then the gloves come off, but not the sass. Kunimitsu. Kunimitsu is a thief, ninja, and mother-daughter legacy. The original clashed with Yoshimitsu. Her daughter picked up the blade and the beef. Fast, masked, and not here for your treasure, just your pride. Mokujin. Mokujin is a training dummy possessed by the spirit of combat. He copies other fighters' styles and occasionally saves the world. Made of wood, full of surprises, and somehow more expressive than most humans. King. King is a luchador with the body of a tank and the soul of a foster dad. He fights to fund his orphanage and wears a jaguar mask because subtlety is for losers. His wrestling moves are brutal, flashy, and usually end with somebody unconscious. If Honor had abs, it looked like King. Armor King. Armor King isn't wrestling's revenge angel. After his brother died, he took up the mask and the feud with King, then trained him, or fought him, or both. Depends on the timeline. He's a mystery in shoulder spikes, fueled by honor, grief, and backbreakers. Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu is a cyber ninja Robin Hood with a rotating wardrobe and a sword that feeds on evil. No, that was not a fever dream. He's the only character who changes bodies every game and still somehow gets weirder. One minute he's healing teammates, the next he's helicoptering through your sternum, all in the name of justice, allegedly. Michelle Chang. Michelle was the original feathered earring warrior. Half Native American, half hurricane, she fought for peace, family, and the occasional mystical artifact. Her legacy lives on through Julia and the bruises she left behind. Victor Chevalier. Victor is France's elite agent, Tekken's oldest newcomer, and somehow cooler than all the kids. Voiced by Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's the stylish commander of a covert ops unit who slices through enemies like bureaucracy. Age before mercy. Feng Wei. Feng Wei believes in one thing, becoming the ultimate martial artist by beating the style out of everybody else. He betrayed his master, broke sacred temples, and treats every opponent like a lesson he just hasn't quite finished yet. Discipline? No. Domination. Miguel Caballero Rojo. Miguel is raw, shirtless rage with a Spanish accent. After losing his sister in a Mishima airstrike, he made revenge his entire personality. No style, no flair, just beatdowns with a side of brooding. Bruce Irvin. Bruce is Muay Thai with a vengeance streak. Once Kazuya's bodyguard, always someone's nightmare. His knees are weapons, his elbows are warnings, and his smile says, "You're not walking away from this." Eddie Gordo. Eddie is the face of capoeira in Tekken and the original flow fighter. He learned to fight in prison to avenge his father's death, then turned breakbeats into beatdowns. Smooth, deadly, and wildly unpredictable, Eddie isn't just style, he's rhythm weaponized. Just don't ask him to stand still. Christy Montero. Christy is Eddie's student, successor, and sunshine-powered hurricane. She fights with capoeira's signature flow and a lot more optimism. Underneath that smile is a fighter who can dance circles around you and then flatten you mid-spin. She doesn't look that dangerous, but that's the trick. Tiger Jackson. Tiger is disco-infused groovy violence. He's technically just a palette swap of Eddie Gordo, who fights with funk and sunglasses. Not canon, doesn't matter. He shows up, dances, and leaves glitter in his wake. Lucky Chloe. Lucky Chloe is a cat-eared idol who fights with dance moves, insults, and weaponized cringe. Half the fanbase hates her, the other half mains her out of spite. Underestimate her, and you'll wake up mid-taunt. Tekken's never been weirder, and that's saying something. Gigas. Gigas is red, angry, and possibly screaming at all times. A failed experiment in bioenhancement, he hits like a cement truck and blocks like one too. His backstory's tragic, and his fists don't care. Nina Williams. Nina is an assassin who's been cryogenically frozen, brainwashed, married on a mission, and still found time to ruin her sister's life. She fights in a wedding dress, uses guns when she's bored, and has the emotional range of a suppressed memory. Cold, lethal, and perpetually done with your existence. Anna Williams. Anna is Nina's sister and lifelong nemesis in high heels. She's elegant, theatrical, and can weaponize a wine glass. Every Tekken game is just a new excuse for her to fight Nina in couture. She doesn't want peace, she wants the last word, and maybe a dramatic death scene. Raven. Raven is a government ninja who treats espionage like a workout. He's fast, focused, and allergic to personality. Every move is clean, every word is clipped, and every mission ends with someone mysteriously unconscious. You don't notice Raven until you've already lost to him. Master Raven. Master Raven is what happens when the organization stops sending messages and starts sending a whole storm. She's sharper, scarier, and somehow even quieter than the original. If Raven was a whisper, she's the blade in the night. Sergei Dragunov. Dragunov doesn't speak. He doesn't smile. He just breaks bones and moves on. Known as the White Angel of Death, he treats the battlefield like a checklist and his enemies like paperwork. He's not here to win, he's here to erase you. Ogre. Ogre is the ancient god of fighting, or at least a very punchable statue with a grudge. He absorbs martial arts from defeated warriors, which is impressive until you realize he still got bodied by Jin in a tracksuit. Looks like a myth, fights like a final exam. True Ogre. When Ogre gets serious, he sprouts snake arms and breathes fire. This is his final form. It's also his final mistake, because Tekken bosses never survive Act 3. Terrifying? Yes. Durable? Not enough. Azazel. Azazel is a crystal dragon from the center of the earth who exists to punish overplotting. He's big, glowy, and completely forgettable once you beat him. No one misses him, not even the people who wrote him. Eliza. Eliza is a vampire who oversleeps for centuries and speaks like a nightclub flyer. She fires blood magic from her hands and keeps a backup pillow mid-fight. Somehow, both immortal and unprepared, she's not here to win, she's just here for the vibes. Lidia Sobieska. Lidia is the Prime Minister of Poland and also a karate champion. Because Tekken doesn't believe in choosing. Calm, principled, and efficient, she enters tournaments like their political statements. Punch first, legislate later. Shaheen. Shaheen is a clean-cut Saudi Arabian fighter with a sword he never uses and footwork sharp enough to cut steel anyway. He's respectful, focused, and surprisingly grounded for someone surrounded by robots, demons, and teleporting vampires. You trust this man with your luggage and your life. Katarina Alves. Katarina talks a big game and backs it up with relentless pressure. She fights in heels, swears in Portuguese, and mashes buttons with confidence. Not subtle, not sorry. If Tekken had a get-off-me character, it's her. Josie Rizal. Josie cries before, during, and after every fight. She's a kickboxer/model from the Philippines who apologizes while kneeing you in the face. Sweet, shy, and surprisingly savage once the bell rings. It's hard to hate her, especially when she's sobbing on your chest mid-KO. Fakum Ram. Fakum Ram is a walking wall of scars, tattoos, and quiet rage. A Muay Thai monster held hostage by corrupt generals, he fights like every punch is a protest. His daughter is the only thing keeping him from collapsing the venue. Craig Marduk. Marduk is a former convict turned Vale-Tudo freight train. Loud, mean, and once literally killed Armor King in a bar fight. Now he's reformed. Kind of. Still stomps people flat, just with a better publicist. Ganryu. Ganryu is a sumo with a gambling problem and an unrequited crush on Julia Chang. He's big, honorable, and completely lacking self-awareness. He's not here to win. He's here to impress someone who's never been interested. Lei Wulong. Lei is a Hong Kong cop with more stances than sense. Based on Jackie Chan, he flips between styles mid-fight and cases mid-sentence. Brilliant investigator, terrible at vacations, and still hasn't caught a break since Tekken 2. Jack series. Jacks are mass-produced murder machines with the emotional depth of a vending machine and the punch force of a wrecking ball. From Jack 2 to Jack 8, each upgrade made them stronger, dumber-looking, and somehow more endearing. Their strategy? March forward and punch until the problem starts moving. It usually works. Gon. Gon is a tiny dinosaur who showed up in Tekken 3, breathed fire, farted for mobility, and then vanished forever. He had no backstory, no voice lines, and no business being that powerful. A fever dream in lizard form. Tekken said, sure, why not? And honestly, respect. Guest fighters. At some point, Tekken stopped asking questions and just let the multiverse in. Akuma from Street Fighter showed up to kill Heihachi, Geese Howard stepped out of Fatal Fury and into everyone's nightmares, Noctis brought a teleporting sword and fishing trauma, and Negan, yes, from The Walking Dead, brought a bat named Lucille and somehow didn't feel out of place. This franchise is unhinged, and we're better for it. Tekken isn't just about fighting, it's about grudges, family drama, Mishima trauma, bears with belts, and androids with abandonment issues. Every fighter brings baggage to the ring, and by round 3, you're unpacking it face first. Nobody gets out clean, but they all show up, and that's why Tekken hits harder than ever.
What are your thoughts? Which one's your favorite? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these deep dives and strange lore. We'll see you in the next video.